What's up? My name is Kel Adore, and you're here listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Couple of lovers out by the dark, hand in hand, and a laugh wouldn't stop. Wonder what he said into her ear. Stolen touch at a table for two. That was the kind of thing that we used to do, but that was all before I knew. Running back to all your exes, more than I can count, 'cause you never learned your lesson. Was it easy living such a life? Maybe one day we'll be happy, happy again. Happy, happy again. 'Cause I don't want this to end. Maybe one day we'll be happy, happy again. Happy, happy again. 'Cause I don't want this to end. Charming me the way that you do, that you play, that you're gonna do. Broke our trust for someone new. Twisted games, a Jekyll and Hyde. How do you fall, living two different lives? Had your back, but mine is a knife. Gave my life, how will you take it? Hit it for yourself, now I'm finally awakened. Wish that I could just forget. Maybe one day we'll be happy, happy again. Happy, happy again. 'Cause I don't want this to end. Maybe one day we'll be happy, happy again. Happy, happy again. 'Cause I don't want this to end. Does she still cross your mind? She crosses mine each time you touch me. Can I forgive the lies and questioning if you still love me? Maybe I won't. 'Cause maybe I can't let go. Maybe one day we'll be happy, happy again. Happy, happy again. 'Cause I don't want this to end. Maybe one day we'll be happy, happy again. Happy, happy again. 'Cause I don't want this to end.
Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today with Kel Adore. Welcome to the show.
Hello. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm coming live from Los Angeles. So
Yeah.
we've got our bases covered here.
Yeah. Well, thank you for bearing with me. We've had some technical difficulties, but we made it work. We're here. And I'm excited to get to know you a little better. I know we just kind of came into contact a little bit ago, and I've been listening to a lot of your music, and just thought this would be fun to sit and talk and get to know more about you and your story and where it all where we've been and where we're going and everything. So
I love
um,
it. I love it. Yes. And thank
yeah,
goodness we got through the technical difficulties. We're ready to
yeah,
roll.
yeah. So it does make this a lot easier having these options. Now that she's being, like I said, you're in LA and I'm in St. Louis. The fact that we can sit down and have this is still pretty cool that this even works like this. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
what I guess take me back to the beginning. Like, I mean, like were you always in LA? Is that, or did you move there?
I moved here about a year ago, a little more than a year ago. I'm actually originally from Denver, so that's kind of my home state.
Yeah,
I moved around a little bit growing up, but I mainly claim Denver as home. So, from Rocky Mountains to now West Coast, it's been really fun. I also have a lot of family in Florida. I lived there for a bit, so I've been all across the country.
yeah. Very cool. Yeah, I'm working my way around. I mean, St. Louis has always been home for me, but it's always been a big thing for me, wanting to see a little bit more of the world, and I haven't really traveled a whole lot until fairly recently. I've gone to Chicago a couple times. I've gone to Florida a few different times with family vacations and things, and seen a couple different beaches and. Uh, just spent the weekend in the Smoky Mountains
Oh, nice.
with some buddies, so that was a lot of fun. We went to like this big ATV park,
Oh
and
my gosh.
yeah, that was
That's
pretty.
so fun. I grew up with ATVs for a little bit, so I have a lot of like core memories of riding on ATVs. In fact, I would just sing to myself like
Yeah,
as I was driving, and I'd go with my family, and you know how loud it gets, and so like those are some of my best memories, just like out in nature on an ATV, or like it could also sometimes be jeeping, and
yeah,
just like connecting with yourself. That's so fun. I haven't been to the Smokies, so I'm sure that's a whole different experience though.
yeah. And it like I don't know, it rained like Friday and Saturday, so
Oh
like
my gosh.
so it was like really foggy up in the mountains, and
And
like
muddy too, I'm
yeah,
sure.
and oh yeah. So it made for a fun trip. We had a real good time. It was my buddy's bachelor party, and yeah, we just spending climbing around the mountains, playing in the mud.
That's the best way to spend a bachelor party. Like props to you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, yeah.
Take
It was a
notes
real,
then.
yeah, it was a real good time. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like I grew up dirt bikes and mini bikes and stuff out in the country, and
Mm,
so this was kind of a new uh the ATVs. We had side by sides,
okay.
and that's what we went around and playing
Yeah,
in and stuff. So I was really impressed though. Those things they
that's amazing.
had no problem getting through all the mud and rocks and water and everything. So it was quite the experience.
I know you kind of have to just like trust the vehicle and
Yeah,
know how to take things, and you do have to be cautious to an extent, but it's also crazy, like you said,
yeah,
how much capable of. But dirt biking, I will say, freaks me out.
yeah.
I never could get behind dirt bikes. I don't know what it is. Something about it being like so squirrely just freaks me out. So I couldn't get on board with that.
Right. Yeah. So you said you would sing to yourself while you were or you would sing out loud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up, and honestly, like my family and my parents tell me, like, even when I was a little girl, like 3 years old, I would just sing to myself all the time, and I
Yeah.
would just make up little songs as I was doing things, and they were like, "Okay, where did this come from?"
Yeah.
But then when I was maybe about 7 is when I started actually writing, and then when, we would go out on these different kind of adventures, and I was super blessed to be able to do that and have that as a part of my childhood. But when I'd be out in nature, I really found kind of like that connection to be really strong with music. And whether it was like writing or just singing, and you have no inhibitions because you're just out in the wilderness, no one can hear you.
Yeah.
It really helped me kind of like find my voice and just have that kind of deeper connection to music, which I really think laid a good foundation for me, because that's a big goal of my current music, is just to have it have that deeper emotional kind of human connection. And that I think really did start from a young age.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool to hear. That well, you saying this, like, it definitely ties into exactly what you were doing with your new music. We have a new single, "Still a Child," available now everywhere, and I mean, that's basically what you say in the song. Like,
Yeah.
you find a home video at 3 years old, or
Uh-huh.
so. I'm guessing this comes from a very true story, writing these lyrics and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. So it is funny. My sister sent me a video, and it was of myself being a total dork and singing into like the old iCam, like webcam from the old Macs, or photo booth, I think is what it was called. But anyway, so she sent me this video, and it just got me kind of nostalgic and in my
Yeah.
feels. And but then I really started to think about, the moments that we grow up and we're forced to kind of grow up. And in those moments, you really recognize how childlike we are at
Mhm.
heart. And I don't know about you, but for me, whenever I've had those moments where, like something happens in your life where things are just turned upside down, and you're like, oh, this is what life is. And
Mhm.
I do not feel equipped to handle this. And I don't feel ready for this. And I don't feel like, this is what I imagined for my life. But I think everybody has those moments, whether it's unfortunately when you're a kid yourself going through things, or, as you enter into adulthood and you're starting to kind of get a taste of reality. I do think that we're all kind of kids at heart, but in a beautiful way, in a way that helps us kind of connect to our roots and to our innocence.
Found a home video I took of myself back when I was 8, singing about all the dreams that I had, and I just couldn't wait. All of my young insecurities written all over my face. Instead I've learned how to hide them, now I keep them buried away. I make them all say, man, she's got her act together, but they don't know the storms are I'm a stranger and all they want's the future. Wanna hide it for a while, wishing I could just run wild. 'Cause I'm still a child. I'm still a child. Found a home video of myself dancing back when I was 3, dressing up like Shania or whoever I wanted to be. There in my mind I could do anything, and I believed the whole world kept turning around me. There was so much I couldn't see. Really thought I'd keep it cool, have my act together. I didn't know the storms I I'm a stranger and all they want's the future. Wanna hide it for a while, wishing I could just run wild. 'Cause I'm still a child. I'm still a child. Running through the backyard, falling, making new scars, chasing that last little bit of light. Wonder where my friends are, maybe at the skate park. Living our lives like we'll never die. Alone, I'm a stranger and all they want's the future.
child. I'm still a child.
Yeah, I feel that 100%. I mean, there's a lot of me that, I'm 37 and still kind of refuse to grow up. Essentially, like it's just like a lot of my friends around me are, I am married. We've been married 8 years, but we don't have any children yet, and a lot of my friends are having babies and stuff, and I'm still going to concerts a couple times a week and going out and having fun, and so
No, and I think that's great. Like everyone has a different life path and different choices.
yeah,
And,
sure,
but it's so true. Like when you're a kid, you look at adults and you're like, oh, like that's a grown woman. Like when I'm a
yeah,
grown woman, I'm going to be doing X, Y, Z. And then you get there and you're like, and I used to laugh because my grandma, and she actually passed away last year, which,
all right.
uh,
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, I mean, it's life, but she used to always say that she was trapped. She was a 17-year-old trapped in
Yeah,
a 80-year-old's body. And we would always be like, oh, Binga. Like we called her Binga, which I know is so weird, but we'd be like, Binga, you're so silly. But like the older I get, the more I realize like I can totally understand why she felt that way. Like once you hit a certain age, you kind of just feel like yourself. And
yeah,
then what's the difference really between a 17-year-old and a
sure,
36-year-old? Like there obviously are differences in terms of
yeah,
experience and just life learnings and all of that, but you are who you are from the day you come out into this world.
yeah, yeah. I think that's. I mean, that's. I think it's more like a. Uh, it's not like that you're just immature or whatever, but it's just like you can still have like look at life that way. Like I look at that. That's what I like when I go to concerts. There's so many people like you see that are kind of like hang on the back or whatever, and they kind of just like don't, are afraid to dance or or sing along or whatever. And then you see those people that like right up in the front and just like having the time of their life, and it's like, what happened when? Like where in
Mm.
life do we decide like I'm not going to dance anymore? I'm not going to sing anymore or what and stuff like that. It's like
Bad thought. That's like
yeah,
bad.
it's like, but when you're a kid, like that's like all you want to do. Again,
Right.
you're like you don't care who's looking, whatever. You just like I'm not embarrassed. I'm just having fun, and that's what it should be about.
I know. Well, and that's so one of the lyrics is I make them all say, man, she's got her act together, but they don't know the storms I weather. And I feel like
Yeah,
that kind of touches on what you're explaining. Like we put on this kind of facade sometimes of like who we are supposed to be and how we're supposed to present ourselves. And
right.
whether that's not dancing at a concert or whatever it is, like I do think like sometimes we just got to say like screw it.
Yeah, sure.
Go dance at the concert, and if people
Yeah,
laugh at you, like they'll never see you again. Like who cares? They're probably more worried about themselves than they
yeah.
are with you.
There is like some like little kind of heavier undertones to some of these lyrics. It's like as you get into it, like even though it is kind of this poppy, upbeat song and stuff, there is definitely some. If you listen to the lyrics and get into it, it definitely kind of has more of a some of the heavier side to it also.
Oh, for sure. And I think that kind of touches to the realities of life
Right.
and growing up. And as much as we do still have that kind of childlike innocence within each of us, and we also do have to go through things that are very
Yeah.
very difficult. And, I do think about, some people in my family very close to me who, their childhood was not as idyllic as I was lucky to have. Or,
Mhm.
some people later in life start to go through challenges. And I think that we do have these moments where, we just want to run away and hide out.
Yeah.
That's another lyric, want to hide out for a while. I actually just finished my merch and I actually have it right here. If you want me to show you, I
Yeah.
have
Let's see it.
this. So I'm excited. So this is for Still a Child, and it's literally like a little tree house.
Yeah.
Can you
Oh,
see it? It's
yeah.
kind of,
It's kind of blurring on it. There.
oh my gosh. Okay. It's because I have the blur on my camera. I'll send
Yeah.
a picture after,
All right.
um, but it's a treehouse because, that lyric of "wanna hide out for a while," like, there are days that things happen in life and you're like, "I just wanna go back to not having to worry about this," but you obviously can't do that, like, you still have
Right.
this life, so, yeah, I think that's something that, I aspire to in my music, at least in this phase of my music, is to have kind of those deeper meanings and kind of emotional things. And I don't know if I'll always write music like that. I want to learn and grow and change. And obviously, like it's fun to write a fun love song or a fun little dance
Yeah.
number, whatever. But I do think there's power in kind of opening up and talking about the challenges in life.
For sure. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of also the beauty of music and as a songwriter, like you put that stuff out there, and there's a lot of times where I'm listening to something and I'm like, there feels like they're telling my story or what I'm going through, and that's like one of the best things is like when you relate with a complete stranger, essentially like just through their music and stuff, and that's so I mean, I think you putting those things in there and people can making it relatable in a sense, like we've all had those feelings. So
Yeah, and I think that's when you strike gold as a songwriter is when
yeah,
people are thinking about themselves and they're
right,
not thinking about you. They're not going, "Oh, this is Kel Adore's song and this is about her." This is, now related to me because we're all human and we go through similar things. And that's another thing I strive to do with my writing and my songwriting process is think about other stories and not just my own. Obviously,
mhm,
my own are injected in many ways, but I could have the same song with different lyrics and maybe one is not even about me and it's
yeah,
inspired by another story. Because I think that just shows like the thread of connection of humanity. Like we all go through a lot. And it's funny, I see this on TikTok a lot where they're like, I have never had an original thought or an original experience in my life. Like as the internet has opened up and
uh,
people are kind of peering into each other's lives, it's like, how did you have that same experience, halfway across the world as a human?
yeah,
It's mind blowing.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I did enjoy that you referenced Shania.
I love Shania.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I like. I mean, it was. I'm guessing was she a pretty big influence on you?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I think, like, I literally grew up listening to her, and when I was younger, even when I was, like, 5, I remember picturing myself, like, on a stage of I don't know why I had this, but it was, like, this cylindrical stage that I pictured myself on top of and, like, singing with Shania. Like, I just singing her music, and I actually
Yeah,
just finished watching her documentary the other week, and she's just such an inspiration and such a powerhouse, and, come on, it's Shania Twain.
yeah.
She's so iconic and for good reason. So yeah, she's definitely an inspiration of mine.
Well, I'm glad you said that too, because the I was going to ask about the doc because it's. I mean, I
Watching
was
it?
yeah, I watched it. Me and my wife. My wife's a super fan also,
Cool.
and I knew quite a bit of her story. I knew the songs obviously, and it's like, but watching that, I was like, man, what a badass! Like she's just like I didn't realize quite fully appreciate her story until watching that, and I'm like, it's just like it was really cool to see it all come together on in that documentary like that. So
Yeah, yeah, if you haven't watched it, here's a little plug. Go watch the
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um,
And
yeah.
she's touring again coming this summer, so I'm secured my tickets to.
You did. Oh my
Yeah,
god, I need to get some tickets. I
yeah,
It was funny because, I don't think I had released the song yet, but I had written it, and then I saw that Harry and Shania performed at Coachella,
oh
and
yeah,
it was kind of crazy because, like, she hadn't really been in the news or, like, pop culture recently, but I was,
right,
like, reflecting on that, and then all of a sudden, like, I wrote this song and now Shania's, like, back in full force, and I was like, "That is amazing." I'm gonna say I partially manifested that.
yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, that's I just well, maybe we can manifest the rest of that story and get you on stage with her
Oh, dude,
and,
let's
and
do
s-
it.
sing along with it. So
I know. That would be
what
amazing.
what will be the song you would think that you would want to sing with her?
Honestly, I'm a sucker for "You're Still the One." Like, that is the best love song, I think.
Yeah,
It just is so sweet and, like, long lasting and just I love her bops. Like, I love all her other stuff, but that one is so sweet and powerful. I love it.
yeah, yeah. It's a great song. Um, yeah, I'm excited to see what else. And she's also they're doing like a live Beauty and the Beast, and
Oh,
and she's playing Miss Potts.
I
So
didn't know that. What the heck? I guess I'm not as a super fan as I thought,
yeah,
but
yeah. So that's coming up in like first week of December or something like that on ABC, I think, or something like that.
hey,
So
yeah.
yeah, she's everywhere right now. She's hot right now. She for sure.
Yeah, no, she's definitely inspiring, and I just feel really lucky, especially as a woman, like in the industry, to have icons like her to kind of look up to and just see how she, shared powerful messages and kind of broke records and standards. And I do think as a woman in the industry, we do have a lot of kind of different challenges and
Yeah,
things we have to face. So it's amazing to see kind of the progress that she paved the way for artists like me to come up and to be inspired and to, go for my dreams because I saw her doing that when I was just a little girl.
yeah, yeah. I did think it was interesting how like kind of um they kind of covered in the doc about like I don't know. I just look like she wearing like the sexy outfits and all this stuff, the fashion that she wore and stuff, and like
Mhm.
I think there was some pushback from middle America,
Totally. Yeah.
but she definitely I think there was a lot of people that I felt it was and there is definitely a power to it. The fact that she wasn't afraid to do what she wanted to do and stuff. So
Yeah. I feel like the way she went about it was just, yeah, very kind of in her power and
right,
confident and not like trying to make a statement or shove it down people's throats, but just like being who she is and embracing who she is and not being worried about other people's opinions. And
right,
I think that's something that we all have to kind of face and work through is, shifting from people pleasing, at least for myself. Like I can be such a people pleaser
uh,
at times. And I've learned to move away from that. And I really feel like I've had a great journey. But yeah, just learning to like trust yourself and not be so worried about everything else.
yeah. You mentioned starting writing the songs at like 7. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
What do
I
you?
go ahead.
I was gonna say, what are you writing about at 7 years old? What's
Horrible songs. Nothing good, but like I think my first song lyrics were I don't want to be one, I don't want to be two, I just want to grow up and be with you because I thought being a baby was being a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old.
all right?
Meanwhile, I was like 7, And I don't know, like I wrote like cute little songs or like, in middle school, I'd have little crushes and I'd like write a little poem. I actually, oh my gosh, Kate, this is an embarrassing story. I wrote a little like song for this guy. I think I secretly had a crush on him a little bit, but I also kind of like didn't like him at all. Kind of like enemies to lovers, but never hit
Yeah.
the lovers part. But anyway, I remember like writing some song lyrics about him and I wrote it on this little like notebook piece of paper and I like showed it to my friends and they like thought it was super weird and
Hmm.
creepy and stalkerish and then I felt like, "Oh, is this like over the top?" After that, I like didn't really tell people that I wrote songs, which I'm kind of just connecting the dots right now that like it took me a minute to kind of get over that because it was like not cool and it was like obsessive and whatever. So anyway, it's just kind of a funny thing growing up and writing and making art and now from then to where I am today, there's just a lot of growth and I wouldn't be where I am without those little dumb notebook lyrics that I wrote in
Right.
school.
Yeah. It's really a shame that especially like you are so influenced by your peers at that age, and like and you desperately want to fit in with your friends, and you're just you I work in the school system, so I see it like
Mhm. Mm,
all the time, every day, just like happening live. Like, man, it's just like, but so many kids do that, like, push down their feelings, or stop doing something because somebody said it was dumb or whatever. It's like,
mhm.
and then eventually they realize, oh, that was dumb. I need to be who I am. I need to
Yeah.
fly, and I need to do this the way it is. So
Well, and it's funny, I do think that like that feeling does prevail throughout our lives, even with, social media. Like, my
yeah,
TikTok, for example, like I feel like in some ways I'm kind of just starting. I think most of my following is on my Instagram. And then I did have like my first few viral videos last month, which I was like, finally a breakthrough. But even since then, like sometimes I share something and I do still feel that like embarrassment almost like, oh, what if someone sees this and thinks it's dumb? But I
yeah,
constantly have to remind myself, like, if they think it's dumb, like that's a reflection of them. And I just need
right,
to be me and just hit the button. So if you're listening and you felt worried about creating art or posting something you're excited about, like my advice is just hit the button, hit post,
yeah,
just do it. And then what's the worst that could happen?
sure. Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of I've been doing my show now for like 8.5 years, and I get a lot of people like, hey, how do I do a podcast? And how do like, it's
Mhm.
like, do it, buy a mic and hit record. Like, just like put yourself out there, have fun, and it's like it doesn't have to be really anything. It can be whatever you want it to be. But that's kind of the thing, is like so many people are afraid to take that first step and make that, afraid to put themselves out there. So yeah, that's the biggest thing, is just doing it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
We're all gonna be bad at start. It's like you got to start somewhere though.
I know, and that's what's funny is you look at any, like, successful, iconic person, whatever, and then you look at them 10 years ago, and
Mhm.
it's like everyone's gotta start somewhere. So, I think that's good advice, like, just do one little thing at a time. Buy the
Yep.
mic, record one podcast, like, you don't have to set your expectation to be crazy, but you can just do one little thing at a time. That's really good.
Yeah. Well, you can find you mentioned Instagram and TikTok. You can find Kel Adore on the socials. You can find um, your music streaming on all the platforms. We got new merch on the way. You said,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
which you're actually the first person I've really told. So new
Uh,
merch, you
exclusive.
check it out on my website. It's at keladore.com. And then yeah, if you're coming my way from the show, please shoot me a DM and
Yeah.
let me know you heard Shane and I chat. I would
That's
love to say hi.
so. You, I guess, like going forward into the new year and stuff. I mean, what is like some goals for Kelador? You trying to get out and tour more, or a new album, or what you got
Yeah.
cooking?
Yeah, so I've been thinking about my next year a lot lately, so perfect timing to ask this question. Really, I think some of my top focuses are to release more music, which I have. Like I'm sitting on some music. I'm kind of, putting together more because I do want to release more next year. I have a music video coming, which I filmed and I'm so excited about. And yeah, I think more shows, that's going to be a big push for next year. I just performed actually at my first red carpet event in Hollywood, which was like
Oh, nice.
crazy that that can happen, but it can. Like I moved here a year ago and I'm like, wow, I'm performing at a red carpet event. How cool is that? So, um, I'm definitely going to keep kind of pushing on live shows and connecting with people and just giving y'all more music because that's truly what I love to do the most.
Yeah. What take me also, like, let's go back a minute to leaving to go to LA. What how do you know like, is there something tells you like in your heart that just like this is it's calling to make that jump? Like, how do you know when the right time is to move?
Yeah, I never thought I would live here. And I swore up and down it was impractical, it was too expensive, it was a pipe dream, all of those things. And so, I mean, I think in the back of my mind, I kind of had this idea of like, well, maybe it would be good, but like, I just didn't really believe in myself. And I think I heard a lot of voices, even, growing up, or even just from people in my circles that were like, California sucks. Like people just hate on California a lot in general. So it was not at all in my purview. But then I think what changed is I started listening to a podcast called And the Writer Is with Ross Golan. It's like for songwriters. He brings on big songwriters. I think it was maybe Andy Grammer. I can't remember who it was, but someone on his show said like LA is the place to be. If you want to get into songwriting, like you got to be where the sausage is made, essentially, just to make
Sure.
those connections. So that kind of got me thinking like, oh, like, obviously you can absolutely do things remote and virtually, like 100%, that should not stop you. But for what I was trying to accomplish, that kind of planted the seed. And then, I mean, I think for me, it was just like a series of events happened. One of my producers, his intern, like found me on TikTok. I only had 500 followers at the time. So found me, we started kind of having some conversations. We started working together virtually. And then I went out to LA to record my first single, Fool for the Pain. I took a trip out here and I just like fell in love with it. And it was so bizarre. Like everything just kind of lined up, and exactly what you said. Like I totally felt like it was kind of a calling in a way. Like I don't know how else to describe it, but it did feel very kind of spiritual for me. Like it felt like something I needed to do. And that summer, like it just became very clear that that was supposed to be my next step. And I was like, I don't know necessarily why. I don't know where this is going to lead, but I feel like I need to be in LA. So, I was very lucky and blessed to be able to make that happen. Obviously, moving is, a lot of time and money, and, you've got to prep for it. But for me, it was absolutely worth it. And I just feel so lucky to be here. And if you've ever wanted to live anywhere and you've ever had that thought of, oh, I want to go live in Singapore, for crying out loud, like wherever it is,
Yeah.
like you can make it happen. You have the power to do that. So yeah, that was kind of my story in getting here. And since
Yeah.
then, it's been a wild ride. And I still sometimes feel a little lost in the big city, but it's really great.
Yeah. I had a conversation not long ago with a buddy who, is kind of in the country music world and was spent like a long time in Nashville and just recently moved back home to St. Louis. And that's kind of the thing. Like, I think like something like that, like just being in the city just greatly improves all your networking abilities. The fact that you can constantly link up with other writers, musicians, and creators and stuff, and just there's so many other like-minded people, also chasing the dream that want to collaborate and stuff. I think that's a big part of it. So
Yeah, and it is an adjustment. Like I will say, when you move into a big city, like you're used to maybe being a bigger fish in a smaller pond, and then you're like, wow, I'm one tiny fish in this massive ocean of LA. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are, very like-minded, like you said. And I think it's also what you make it. You have to kind of find your pocket, and you kind of have to give it time to settle in. And I feel like I've heard the advice of like, if you move somewhere, you need to give it 1 year before you actually feel settled.
right.
Actually, so like, don't judge it by the first few months. Like you've got to kind of establish yourself. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, all of that said, you can make music anywhere. You can make art anywhere.
Sure.
And, look at us, like we are having this whole conversation and you're in St. Louis, and
Right.
wonderful.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can get you out here touring. Hopefully, we can get you to come through St. Louis sometime soon. That'd be fun
I would love it.
to meet up and maybe get some Emo's pizza or some toasted raviolis or
Okay, you know all the good spots.
I do know a lot of good spots, but yeah, those are like what St. Louis is kind of known for. Like we're no, none of it's like it's all deep fried and it's yeah. So
That sounds
but
so good. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'll let you know if I'm ever in the area and
yeah.
grab some of those iconic food items.
Right. Yeah. Well, I got a couple silly questions, so I wanted to ask you to get your take on some of these. And all right, one I've been having fun with is we have a Kel Adore action figure come out. What would you like to see, or I guess maybe like like a Barbie or whatever, I don't know whatever it
Yeah.
might be. But what would you like to see as your like 3 accessories to go with your
Oh my gosh, I love that
your
question. That's literally the best question. If I had like a Barbie, which would be literally a dream, are you kidding me? Which by the way, side note, I was named after like a Kelly doll.
Oh yeah,
Like my real name is Kelly, but I go
all
by
right.
Kel and like Kel Adore. So I have a special connection to Barbies. But anyway, I would say like a pen, like a songwriter pen.
Do you have a particular one you enjoy writing with?
Honestly, I use my laptop. So
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's
all right.
boring, but like I want to represent. Um, my dog, I have a little toy Australian Shepherd. So like if I could have a little dog, I would love that. And then I mean maybe a microphone, but I feel like a headphones or a microphone.
All
I,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
What's a song that always gets stuck in your head, or maybe like stuck in your head this morning or lately?
Um I hate that I thought this, but I literally thought the song Friday. Rebecca Black.
Yeah.
That was my first thought. Like it gets stuck in your head, but like not in the best way. I think I also sing a lot like oh gosh, what's the name of the song? Tell them all I know now. Impossible.
Yeah.
Kind of an
Yeah.
oldie, a goodie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. It is that whole thing is interesting to think about how the brain works and how that like those little earworms, those songs get stuck in there and you just like
Ah,
so
yeah, cool.
what all right, what the day comes along, we've got the Kel Adore biopic. Who would you like to see cast to play you in the movie?
Okay. Ooh.
Do you ever get you like look like somebody?
Oh, oh, what's the name of the actress? I've been told I look like Reese Witherspoon, which is such a compliment. But a younger actress, she's in Jumanji. I want to say her name is like Madison Eisler. I'm gonna look it up
Yeah.
real quick.
All right.
She I think she's so adorable. Or wait, yeah, Jumanji cast. You know what I'm talking about? Like she was like the kind of
And
like popular
in the original or the rock version?
in the rock version.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome to the Jungle, 2017. I feel bad. I'm like forgetting her name. Madison Iceman.
There you go. You're pretty close.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
she's adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also love Florence Pugh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That would be I don't know. These are just silly things I think about like would be fun.
I love it. Yeah, that's so fun to think about.
All right. What about our last one here? What about a dream duet or collaboration? I know we talked
Mm.
a lot about singing with Shania, but is there somebody else maybe that you even producers or any?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. John Bellion, number
Yeah.
one. I'm a huge John Bellion fan. I think he's like a big reason I even got into actually pursuing music seriously. And then the Monsters and the Strangers would be incredible to work with production wise.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with either of those, so maybe I need to go do
So
some homework.
the Monsters and the Strangers produce like all of the big stars. Like I think they just did some stuff with Lizzo. They've done stuff with Bieber, and
Yeah.
they've done stuff with everyone. And then John Bellion, he has his own kind of niche music and fan base. Like he kind of has a cult following. Like people love him. But he also is an incredible writer and producer, and he has credits like Holy, Justin Bieber, Midnight Sky, Miley Cyrus, Trumpets, Jason Derulo, Monsters, Rihanna and Eminem. Like he's
Yeah.
kind of behind the scenes on a lot of stuff, and he's just got a very kind of like raw approach to music, which I really love.
All right. Cool. Yeah. I
Check
mean,
him
I
out.
definitely know those songs. I just
Yeah,
it's cool. So yeah, that's well, hopefully we can make that happen too. That'd be fun.
totally. It's actually crazy because I'm writing with a team, and one of the guys on the team, he asked me like, "Who are some of your influences?" And I said John Bellion, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's crazy. I'm writing with his team next week." And I was like, excuse me, what?
All
So
right.
I feel like that is very cool. Like I'm only a few degrees away now from
Sure.
that connection, and that's how it works. You write with people, they know people, and you tell people what you want. You say, "Oh, I love John Bellion," and they go, "Oh, cool. Like I'm working with
Yeah.
them, and
Yeah.
we'll see what
Hey,
happens."
John. Like,
Hey,
so,
John,
like,
I've been writing with someone that you know.
yeah.
But
So
yeah, that's definitely really crazy. Like just shows you how you put things out into the universe and they can start happening.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm happy for you. I'm excited that and I'm excited to see your continued growth, and hopefully, like I said, we'll get some more new music coming soon, and like maybe, like I said, maybe some more shows, and maybe something St. Louis stop would be fun for me, and get
Uh,
to hang out. And but if I ever make it to LA, I'll see. I'll try to catch you out there. So
Please do,
yeah,
Shane. It's such a pleasure and so much fun talking to you. I'm so glad we could make it happen.
yeah. Maybe we link up when the new tunes are ready, and you're ready to
Yeah.
share. And but thank you for spending some time with me today. And again, find Kel Adore on your socials, and all your wherever you get your digital music at today. And keladore.com, you said,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what.
Everything's at Kelador or at Kelador Music should cover your
Yeah,
base.
very cool. Well, thank you again. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you spending some time with me today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.